Well, welcome to our 10-4-day 2025 information session. I am Shannon Moody with Kentucky Youth Advocates, and I also oversee our work with the FACEsp movement, which is founded and funded by Kosair for Kids. And we've been around as a coalition that is focused on ending child abuse and neglect in the Commonwealth for about 12 years now. And really grateful to have our partners and maybe potential partners on the webinar today and the information session to learn more about how the 10-4 day and 10-4 bruising rule fits into the work overall of the FACEsp movement. And you'll get to hear from a partner of ours who's been really critical in helping the 10-4 day efforts get underway across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So I do know that we expect a couple of folks in the webinar who are actually from outside of Kentucky, which is great. We will also share other information if you are outside of Kentucky about 10-4 day opportunities, developing proclamations, generating interest in activities in your state. So this will be pretty Kentucky specific as far as what we have done, but we'll also create some opportunities for questions if you have questions, and then follow-up information if you're from another state. So again, Shannon Moody with Kentucky Youth Advocates and the Kosair for Kids FACEsp movement. Thank you all so much for being here today and learning about the 10-4 day opportunities and what the heck it is and what we can expect. So we're going to go ahead and get started. As a reminder, the FACEsp movement is an initiative that was founded and funded by Kosair for Kids. We launched in 2013 publicly in response to the outcry against the number of child abuse neglect deaths across the Commonwealth. We are seeing a decline in child abuse and neglect overall, and we are heading in the right direction, but there's still a whole lot of work we can do, and we will definitely talk about activities that help to prevent abuse from ever occurring at all and how we can support our families in that. We, as a movement, have over 160 community partners across the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and you'll also hear we work with other states around this effort. The goals for today are to ensure that we're building momentum on promoting the 10-4-FACESp Bruising Rule, which we'll explain momentarily if you're not familiar. Organizing 10-4 day opportunities in your state, and then connecting with national partners and the 10-4 day efforts, both in Kentucky and nationally. So on the next slide, I'll give a little bit of history of 10-4 day and how we got started. But 10-4 day actually started here in Kentucky, and it resulted from some going to training for pediatric abusive head trauma. I'm a social worker by trade. I'm required to get pediatric abusive head trauma training. And after that training, I was talking to Dr. Jenny Green about how do we make sure that more and more folks know about the 10-4-FACESp Bruising Rule and what it is in pediatric abusive head trauma. And she said, I don't know, but we need to figure something out. So driving from that training, I thought, what if we had a day on 10-4, October 4th, to just promote the training. So it went from just a kind of an idea to help promoting the training to a movement across the US in helping people understand what pediatric abusive head trauma is, what 10-4 bruising rule is, and also we've connected with several partners across the country to help shape their 10-4 efforts as well. So in 2019, that was the first 10-4 day in Kentucky. Our governor, as well as other local leaders, the mayor of Louisville and the mayor of Lexington, proclaimed October 4th as 10-4 day. And then we have grown every year since then across the Commonwealth of Kentucky as well as across the United States. In 2023, we partnered with Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago and Massachusetts General in Boston and had 10-4 day recognized by Illinois, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Michigan. And we continue to work and expand our efforts. We now have partners in Wisconsin who are working around this. And then in 2024, we expanded again. We're really looking forward to seeing what we can do in 2025, not just about proclamations or awareness in other states, but what activities that are prevention focused that folks are doing in their state or in their communities to help keep kids safe, especially our youngest kids. So on the next slide, I have just a quick overview of the 10-4-FACESp Bruising Rule. So now, as a reminder for folks who have already heard this, or for folks who are new to the 10-4-FACESp Bruising Rule, this is a bruising rule. It's a clinical rule that was developed and validated by Dr. Mary Clyde Pierce from Lurie Children's Hospital. She used to be here in Louisville, at University of Louisville, as well as some other researchers and clinicians who who went over cases and cases and cases of bruising to identify what were those red flags that were bruises as a result of abuse or neglect, and specifically often physical abuse. So what they found after doing all reviews of of many different cases, they found that children under the age of 4 years old, and especially those under 4 months old who are not yet pulling up or cruising. If you're not cruising, you shouldn't be bruising. They identified that there are specific places on the body that really need more attention and maybe a potential report to Child Protective Services if you're seeing bruises in those areas. So any bruises on babies 4 months and younger is a red flag and is a significant cause to further understand what happened and potentially report to child abuse or to Child Protective Services. So the bruising for kids 4 and under that we also need to pay attention to are on the torso, ears, and neck. So we've got a depiction there, torso, especially the soft spots in the belly, skin that is not over bones in particular. The soft parts, fleshy parts of the neck, the ears, especially if there's pinching or intentional harm happening because of abuse to the head. And then faces is frenulum, which are the parts of where your lip connect to the inside of your gums. The angle of the jaw, which is usually the fleshy part underneath. Cheeks, also the fleshy part, the soft part here. Your eyelids and the subconjunctivae, I can never say that right, which is the white parts of your eye. I wish that that S was just W and we could say white parts of eye. Again, for infants ages 4 months or younger. And then P is for patterned. Patterned bruises could be from a hand mark, a belt, wires, sometimes extension cords or other cords that are used for hitting children are often leave patterns or impressions on the skin that result in bruising. So those are the items to watch out for. 10-4-FACESp ideally is a kind of an easy acronym to remember to help adults recognize concerning bruising. And we definitely encourage folks to attend that training if you're not familiar with it. If you've never heard of it, we'll have some trainings that we'll talk about in around 10-4 day. So on the next slide, we talk a little bit about why a multi and interdisciplinary collaboration is really essential. So face it, as a movement, we know that partners around the table are essential to getting the word out. We know that it's important to make sure that experts like physicians, nurses, researchers are part of the conversation, but also community members who maybe come into contact with kids but are not necessarily serving kids. Social workers, community health workers, child care centers and employees and early childhood educators who are around kids 4 and under. Having a team and promoting collaboration in your community can be really critical and effective in getting movement around the 10-4 day awareness building and opportunities if you want to host a training or host an activity or positive parenting event, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So promoting collaboration and bringing people around the table in your local community plays a really big role in the success of 10-4 awareness and helps to kind of lighten the load for everyone if you've got many hands at the table helping to lift things up. And then I think on the next slide, Clarissa, you're going to talk a little bit about leveraging media and social media to help spread the word on 10-4 day.
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button. Okay. Thank you all. Thanks, Shannon. So for right now, we're going to talk about leveraging media and social media to help spread awareness of the 10-4-FACEsp Bruising Rule. We work with partners in the past, community partners. We've done things like hosting press conferences. We've hosted webinars, things that we've heard directly from experts about the importance of the bruising rule. And social media is a powerful tool for promoting the 10-4-FACEsp resources and the messagings, as well as the trainings and other events that are around 10-4 Day. And so this year we are, if you see in the middle, that is our newest, this year's 10-4 Day 2025 social media toolkit, which it's on our website. You can view it and we'll drop the link in the chat. It's a way for community partners to share graphics and sample posts to the social media platforms that you have. It includes trainings, graphics for trainings, language to use leading up to 10-4 Day, on 10-4 Day, and after 10-4 Day. We encourage you guys to share these posts on your social platforms, but if you don't have the capacity or if you're not sure, you can easily just share posts directly from Facet's social media profiles. We have a Facebook, X, and Instagram that you can share. And if you have the funds, boosting or creating ads from your posts on social media can really help target the messaging even further. And that could be targeting to professionals who've worked with young kids and families, or anyone in your community who you think that could benefit from these trainings and this education. Let's see. So other ideas for spreading the word. Here's some options that you guys can think of that can help to reach your audiences, because not everybody is on social media. Email blasts to community partners and professionals in your networks, hanging flyers to promote 10-4 Day and any trainings that you all are hosting, passing out the brochure to your colleagues, requesting entities and local hospital systems, health departments, universities, and professional associations like the Dental Association or Nurses Association, and to share the info on their social media platforms, as well as local leaders who are enacting proclamations, which now we'll talk about proclamations. So here's a sample of some of the proclamations that we've received in the past year, which is one tool to really garner that media attention statewide and in local communities, is by securing a proclamation that will officially proclaim October 4th as 10-4 Day. So in Kentucky, FACEsp has successfully secured proclamations from the governor, attorney general, as well as several mayors and county judge executives with the support of our community partners. And then while we've made requests to the governor and AG, attorney general, and major cities like Louisville, Lexington, Bowling Green, we rely on our partners to help us make these requests as the nonprofit leaders in your communities. And so if you are interested in supporting FACEsp and securing proclamations for your local jurisdictions, please let us know. And one helpful way is on that 10-4 webpage where the social media toolkit is. You can go there, and there we do have we outline the samples, proclamations, letters, and templates, but also on the web page below that, we have outlined the process for getting a proclamation from your local leaders. That includes a template for the proclamation, so everything that they need, and a request letter. So all you have to do is just fill in their name and send it. So this year we're creating a spreadsheet for partners to sign up to request a proclamation, and we have FACEsp partners across the state. That it is our goal to get proclamations in all 120 Kentucky counties. So Debbie dropping the link in the chat. So you please sign up to request a proclamation for your county or state. And now I'm going to turn it over to Debbie to discuss training opportunities.
Thanks, Clarissa. And I did note this in chat, but if you're from another state and would like to sign up to get a proclamation for your state, there's another tab on that spreadsheet for states. So I'm going to hop into, as Shannon said, there's the Pediatric Abusive Head Trauma and 10-4-FACEsp Bruising Rule trainings that we do. So that's the educational component that we have leading up to 10-4 Awareness Day. And so we partner with different trainers in the state to host those trainings. And we recognize the importance of offering CEUs. Some professions actually require the pediatric abusive head trauma training. And so Other ones don't require it, but they attend and we provide CEUs. Some examples of the different types of CEUs that we offer are nursing for family youth service coordinators, community health workers, dental, EMS, early childhood workers. So there's quite a variety of different CEUs that you can offer. And I will note that there's different processes for securing CEUs, and they may vary by state. So the first step, if you want to provide a training and offer CEUs, is decide what professions you want to offer them for, and then contact the accrediting organization who provides the CEU credits, and they'll share with you what the application process is. And so then as far as training dates, so we try to have a little bit of a strategy as far as like setting up the training dates and thinking about, is there a target audience that we want to really be reaching out to attend the training? And so whenever you're thinking about that, you're looking at maybe what the best time of day is to for that group. Like for example, if you're wanting to provide the training for early child care workers or childcare workers, maybe an evening is the best time. And then also think about if an in-person or a virtual training would be best. And so here in Kentucky, we try to partner with other organizations to co-host the trainings. And what that does is it helps promote the training, and then, yeah, just another way for us to partner. So this year, HANDS is co-hosting 2 of the trainings that we're providing. And so we can drop a link in chat where you can sign up for the trainings here in Kentucky. But we are going to have one in person at, I can't say the name of this church, Centenary Church, that's in Lexington. And then there's going to be 4 virtual trainings. So that one's on September 20th. And then the week leading up to TEN-4 on September 30th, there's one and that will have some additional content for dental hygiene specialist. So that's in the morning, September 30th from 9 to 11. And then a virtual one on October 1st from 2 to 4, October 2nd from 12 to 2, and then October 3rd from 10 to 12. And those are all Eastern time. So I'm going to move on to another component of TEN-4, which we lovingly call positive parenting events. So the purpose of this is thinking about like TEN-4 and the bruising rule. That's about recognition and reporting. And so thinking about really more upstream, how are we helping? There's the prevention focus there. So we encourage our partners to host, again, what we call positive parenting events. And those are events that promote positive parent engagement, that strengthen families and increase protective factors. So in those protective factors are part of the Strengthening Families framework, parental resilience, social connections, knowledge of parenting and child development, concrete supports in time of need, and social emotional competence of children. And if you're a FACEsp partner, there is an application of you can apply, and FACEsp can help with the cost of those events. Let's see. And we're going to go ahead and share. So as far as I'll share some examples of previous positive parenting events, just kind of ideas. So we have some organizations that have hosted events that have a time of connection for mom of kids with special needs. They might provide a meal or a walk or some other self-care activities. Yeah, really showing appreciation and providing a space of active rest. Other events include maybe trainings on like cyber safety or teaching about mindfulness. And let's see, there was one organization that they had noted. So really with these events too, you're looking at the population that you serve and what their needs are. And so like there was one organization that said parental resilience was an area that they wanted to work on. So they came up with some activities that would help build family resilience. So we'll go ahead and drop in chat a a link of if you're a FACEit partner, you can apply. It'll be the Positive Parenting Event application. And so another way to be involved or engaged leading up to 10-4 that's prevention focus is really normalizing the difficulty of parenting little kids. So talking to parents about what to do when their child won't stop crying, talk about dealing with the frustration of potty training, and about supports for postpartum depression and anxiety. So really providing information and normalizing that parenting is difficult. And so next we're going to do a spotlight from one of FACEit's partners, Mountain Comprehensive Care Center, to hear how they've observed 10-4 Awareness Day and how that has impacted their community. So Zach?
Hey, thank you for having me on here to talk about what we've done with the FACEit's efforts to promote the 10-4 Awareness Day. We we have one event that it's in its 23rd year, I think 24th year, and we kind of consider that now that we're a partner, a positive parenting event because it fit the bill. But then the other thing that we've done and have tried to grow is our having proclamations signed. And that's usually by judges and mayors. That's who we've asked to sign them. This is 2024 was our third year of having those proclamations signed, and the first 2 years we just did that through our healing program, which has a specific 5-county region, and we already had great relationships with the dignitaries in those regions or those counties. So we did that to kind of get a feel for it because we've done some proclamations in the past, but nothing organized and throughout our footprint. So we learned a couple things in those first 2 years, and then last year we decided to, see if all of our clinics wanted to do it, all of our programs throughout the state, and some did. We have a pretty wide footprint of about 60 counties, so 24, I think, of those groups of our employees had some buy-in. They wanted to participate. So what we did is make a template for our proclamations, and I filled out, the names of the people that they would then approach. They used your template of sort of the ask if they wanted to participate, and some of the information that FACEit has provided on 10-4, so that especially with training our own staff to know what to say, because some of them weren't aware. And so it's growing within the agency, within our agency, it's growing knowledge about 10-4. And then also with the dignitaries, the judge executives and mayors learn about it and then can talk about it in the community. So we had our local branches contact those judges and mayors and set up a time. They would go and during that time and take a picture. And then it turned out great last year. I think we had about 24. So we were really pleased with that and happy that we could help spread awareness. And we hope to continue growing that because it's been a positive thing for us and for the communities.
Thanks so much, Zach. I will say, I think Mountain Care Comprehensive Center like doubled the amount of proclamations by their participation last year. So we do have like a really short video that we can show as far as their efforts of proclamations. I will just note too, as far as like what Zach mentioned, picking up the proclamations in person really helps strengthen relationships in your community with those leaders. And then taking a photo and posting it on social media also just increases that awareness for 10-4 Awareness Day. So Clarissa, if you can go ahead and share that video, and then after that, we'll have a few minutes for Q&A.
Were you guys able to hear all of that?
What's that?
Were you guys able to hear all of that? The
No.
sound testing? Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Can you see the screen, the video? Okay, I'm
Yes.
going to play it in full screen.
Actually, we can't hear it, Clarissa.
Um,
Okay,
um,
that's okay. It just has some music, so maybe we can just like watch part of it, but we
yeah,
can also share a link in the follow-up email. Um,
yeah. I'm not sure why you can't hear, but pretend there's some nice, uplifting, inspirational music.
okay. Thank you, Clarissa, for sharing that. It's really great to see just the variety of participation. And as you can see, it doesn't have to be fancy to go pick up a proclamation. It's really just about that connection. If anyone has any questions, you can drop it in chat, or you could unmute if you would like.
Debbie, I will just say too, the benefit of the proclamations is that not only does it create, like Zach said, some opportunity to talk about the 10-4 day organizationally, the elected officials often like an opportunity to lift up and raise issues in the community that are important to them. And it also, frankly, creates an opportunity for traditional media like newspapers or news spots to pick up some of those stories and help promote it there. So the real big benefit of the proclamation is media, both traditional and social media, helps to spread the awareness and really help people understand what 10-4 day is on an even broader scale. Zach has been an incredible partner and with Mountain Comprehensive Care and helping there, especially in our Eastern Kentucky area.
All right. So thank you guys so much for attending this webinar. Here are some things that you can do next and ways that you can take action. You can attend a pediatric abusive head trauma or and 10-4-FACESp Bruising Rule training to receive CEUs September 20th through October 3rd. And remember, we have one in person for childcare providers, faith-based childcare providers, and then we have 4 virtual trainings. You can also secure a local proclamation, and the templates are on our website and in the toolkit that recognizes October 4th as 10-4 Day 2025. You can host a positive parenting event in September or October with support from Face It. Just reach out to Debbie and or use the link that was dropped in the chat. You can spread the word on social media and in the news. The toolkit is on the webpage. It's also in the chat. And there's other info on the website. They'll be on our social media, where you can go and download those graphics and that language. And if you're new to this, pick one thing that you can do to start getting involved and take it from there. Thank you all. And if you have any questions, please reach out.